joined by Francine and her best friend, Armintha. And Francine, number one, I'm just so sorry that this happened to you. And as I alluded to, before that night, your ex had never laid a hand on you.
No, he never laid a hand on me. I mean, he was more, it was verbal, like, he would say things and, like, say terrible things to me. And, he'd act like he wanted to, put his hands on me or something like that. But he never did at all, put his hands on me.
And this was all the result of breaking up with him,
yes.
right? You decided that...
To break up with him.
And he just couldn't accept that.
No, couldn't accept it.
Well, as Dr. Travis said, we're glad to see that you're alive. I mean, 85%, a burn, a thermal injury is one of the worst things that can happen to a human being. And for you to get through an 85% burn is somewhat of a miracle in itself.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And Francine, I know you probably never thought anything like this would happen to you. This was your third abusive relationship that you'd been in. Mm-hmm. And I know, I was reading your story, and you have a passion to speak out to other women about domestic violence. What would you say to women now who are in relationships where he's tearing up the house, where he's yelling at them, where it's abusive, but they haven't left yet?
Well, one is to know your signs, being in a relationship, and you got to know your signs, far as when they start to do things like tear up things or howling at you or just treating you differently than you should be treated. And most of all, I always say to people is knowing the most sign is like when is something about to happen. It's because they turn into somebody that you don't really know, because at this time, at that day, he was just totally different than I have ever known him to be. And most of all, and this, women need to understand that part the most. And people would say to you, why don't you get out, or whatever that might be. And in domestic relationships, a lot of women have a lot of reasons why they don't get out. Some are scared, some don't know how, or those kind of things. But I want women to understand is like, read your signs.
And you got out, and he came over and wanted to get some things, and you felt like you were being kind enough to let him in. And this was your first time meeting him, correct?
Yes, it was. Yes.
So tell me about that moment afterwards. You start to smell gasoline, you start to notice what's happening.
I was in the bathroom at that time, and I heard her scream. And my nickname is Bigger, so she said, Bigger, she just screamed to me, call the police, call the police. And as I was running down the steps, I got like to the middle of the steps, and I could smell the gas. And then the whole house just exploded. It was horrible. Her skin was literally peeled off of her body. It was bad.
You guys have been best friends for like 20 years.
Yes. I call her my hero because I often think, like, if she hadn't been there, I could have died in that fire. Nobody would have never known what happened to me or any of those things, and for her I was in a coma for 4.5 months, and she had to tell the story, and a lot of people was having a lot of different stories going on, until I became conscious enough to come up and tell the story. And it was like, as soon as I woke up, I instantly remember that day. And I didn't even know it was 4 months had went past.
Well, and the really neat thing seeing the two of you together is that not only are you such a great friend, but an advocate for Francine through all this. And interestingly, 85% of your body has been burned, but oftentimes it's the smallest parts of your body, your hands, and all that scar tissue, that's really causing you a lot of problems.
Yes, it is. Yes, as you can see, from the skin draft, I grew wedges in between my fingers, and this one is I burn mostly on the left side, so I can't even make a complete fist with this hand, but I can pretty much do this side. So it's like trying to open up certain things I can't do yet, but
I know you're doing the best you can, but that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you see a doctor. We sent Francine to board-certified plastic surgeon Dr. Lara Devgan to see if anything could be done for her hands.